Hi Year 4. Today we're going to be looking at two addition strategies for adding 2, 3, 4 and 5 digit numbers. You may be familiar with these strategies. We're going to have a little bit of a review today and then you've got some activities to do during your maths lesson. So one of the strategies that we're going to be looking at is the split strategy, where we're splitting numbers based on their place value and adding them together. And then we've got the jump strategy, where we're using an empty number line to jump some numbers to add up 2, 3 and 4 digit numbers. So let's have a closer look at split strategy first of all. The first thing that I'd like you to do is recognize the value of each of the digits in these numbers. Okay, so this is a review from last week. We looked at these numbers here representing the ones column, so you can write a little O above them. And then this number here represents 20 and this one is 30, so that is in the tens column. So I'm going to put a little T there. Now, when we're splitting a number, we're splitting the value of the number and then adding them together. So make sure that you always start with the highest value digits first and plus them together. So in this number here, 36 and 23, this number here represents 30. So I'm going to write a 30 down to represent that 3 there. And then you're going to add it to the same value. So that's a tens here. You're going to add it to the same value on this number. So we've got 30 plus 20 from that number. Then you can count by your tens to count on from 30, you plus 20, and that equals 50. So you write a 50 there. Okay, so now you've added both of your tens together there. Okay, now we're going to add our ones together. Okay, so we've got our 6 from here, so we'll write a 6 plus our 3 from here. And then you add that together, so 6 plus 3 is 9, and you write that down there. Now that is not the final step, okay? You've now added the tens together, and you've added the ones together. Now you actually have to add both of them together to get the final answer. So this is your third line of working out. You'll write your 50 down here from what the tens equaled, plus your 9 from what the ones equaled, and 50 plus 9 is 59. Okay, once you have your final answer here, okay, always get in the habit of writing it back up here in the problem. Okay, so 36 plus 23 equals 59. Okay, that's how you solve a 2-digit by 2-digit addition. Now let's have a look at how we do a 3-digit by 3-digit. So again, let's write in our place value. So on this number here represents ones, 10, hundreds. Okay, same with this number, ones, tens, and hundreds. Okay, so we start again with our highest value digit. Okay, so in this one, they both have a number in the hundreds, so we're going to start with that as our first line of working out. Okay, so this number here represents 100, so we write it as the number 100, plus this number here isn't 2, as it's in the hundreds column. It's like 2 of those big flats that we looked at last week. That is 200. Okay, so then you add that together, 100 plus 200, okay, equals 300. That is your first line of working. So realistically, you have added those two numbers together. Okay, now we look at our next value number here, which is in the tens column. So we've got 50 from this number. We write that down, plus 10 from that number there. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to add these two together. So 50 plus 10 is 60. You write that down. Now all we're left with is adding our ones together. Okay, so we've got our 4 from this number and our 3 from this number, and 4 plus 3 together equals 7, and we've added our ones together. Now the answer isn't 7, that's only what those two ones added up together. The last thing you need to do is add all these together. Okay, now some of you in your maths work sometimes leave it as that. Okay, and for the teachers, you sometimes write the right answer here, but for the teachers to have a look and see at all you're working out, you need to do one more line of telling me what you've actually added. Okay, so that means you've got your 300 there, your 60 plus your 7. Okay, when you add all that up together, or you can use it like a partition, it equals 367. And again, writing it as your answer. Okay, now let's have a look at a 4-digit one for our split strategy. First step, try and get in the habit of it, is writing your place value. Okay, now this one's a 4-digit number, so it goes into the thousands. So I like to write a TH for thousands. Move to your next number, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, now we are going to start adding, again, our highest value numbers first. So we've got our 1,000 here plus 1,000 here. 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000. Okay, so those numbers are added together. Then we move to our hundreds number. Okay, so we've got a 100 here. Now this number here actually doesn't have any hundreds, okay? But we can still write a 0 in there. As 100 plus 0, it stays 100. But I would still write plus 0, so you've got that line of working out. Then move to your tens. Okay, so we've got 20 over here on this number, plus 10 over here on this number. So that equals 30. Okay, and then finally your ones. So we've got 4 little ones plus 3 little ones, and 4 plus 3 together equals 7. And last line of working out, we add these together. So 2,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 7 equals 2,137. Okay, just like when we made our blocks last week, there's a 7 in the ones. This would be 30 represented by 3 of those tens, 100, so 100s block, and then our 2,000s block. Okay, so that is your answer. Again, writing it up here so that your teacher knows the answer to that addition problem. All right, now we are going to do our jump strategy now. Little bit different to our split strategy, although you should still get the exact same answer, okay, as I have left the problems exactly the same. There's just a little bit different working out that we need to do. So for jump strategy, you will need to start with a number line. Okay, so you can draw your number line on here. Now, when we're adding numbers, we always put our first number, so this one here, at the very start of our number line. Now, we are adding numbers, so we're going to start on the left of the number line, okay? Because we're going to get larger and work towards our largest numbers being down here. So I'm going to write 36 on this number line right there, and then this number 36 we don't need to do any more with. That's just our first number that we're going to be counting on from. Okay, this number is the important one that we need to actually break up. Okay, so this 2, remember what that represents. It's in the tens column, so it represents 20. Okay, so that 2 out of the 23 represents 20. Okay, this one here represents just 3 single ones. Okay, so when we're jumping, we want to do our big place value first. So we want to jump 20 jumps first. Now, you can do a big jump of 20 and write plus 20 there. And if you know that 36 plus 20 equals 56, you can write that in there that you landed on. Okay, or if you would like to, let me just get a different colored texter. You could do a jump of 10 and another jump of 10. Okay, because 10 plus 10 equals 20. So you could do, okay, that's 46, okay, and then you're 56. It's up to you how you'd like to show your working out. It's really good to get in the habit of labeling your jumps though, to tell your teacher what you actually did to jump to the next number. So 36 to 46, I jumped 10. 46 to 56, I also jumped 10. If I jump straight from 36 to 56, I jumped 20 altogether. Okay, so now I have added on my 20. So I'm at 56 now with adding on 20. But I'm not just adding on 20, I'm actually adding on 23. Okay, so when you landed on 56, you're just going to do 3 small jumps. 1, 2, 3. We're landing here. I'm going to tell my teacher that I jumped 3. And you can just simply count on 3 more from 56. So 56, 57, 58, 59. And I land there. Now I'm going to write my 59 up here. And I'm going to check with my split strategy that I got for the exact same, and I got 59. Okay, so I'm going to be pretty sure that if I got the same answer using 2 different strategies, then I'm going to be correct. Okay, now let's move on to our 3-digit by 3-digit. So again, you're drawing an empty number line, and you're popping your number here first. Okay, so 154. Now we don't have to do anything more with that number as we're counting on 213. Now sometimes when we're actually adding, and we're adding in our head, we might want to start with this number, okay, and then add on the smaller number, because it's always good to count on the smaller number rather than the larger number. But I'm going to show you today, if it's written like this, how you can show it using jump strategy just like this. So again, we want to jump our higher value first. So that 2 there represents 200. Again, I can label them just like I did with my split strategy. This is jumping 200. Okay, so I can do this 2 ways. I can go plus 100, plus 200 and land here. Again, labeling them to show my teacher. If I do 154 plus 100, I'll get 254, plus another 100 would be 354. Okay, so now I have added on my 200. Again, like this one up here, if you would like to just do one simple jump from there to there and write plus 200, that is fine as well. Okay, now I need to add on 10, okay, because that's my next number here, working down in place value. So I'm going to do another jump here and write plus 10. Now, we are adding 354 plus 10. Okay, so when we add a 10, it changes this value here. So 364 plus 10, you would get 364. Sorry, I said 364. 354 plus 364 once you've plus 10. Now I have added my 10 to that number. Now all I need to do is add 3 single jumps. Okay, so 3 little ones. So I'm going to draw them in first. 1, 2, 3. I will label them for my teacher, and then I'll go back in and count on my 3 more. So 364, 365, 366, 367. That is the number that I land on. I don't want to just leave it like that so that my teacher doesn't know what my answer is. I'm going to write it up here. Okay, 367, and I again will check my answer with split strategy, and yep, it is the same. So I'm pretty sure that is going to be correct on both sides. All right, now let's go on to our 4-digit number. Again, start off with a number line. Now, as you can see, these numbers increase in size or value, but my number line's the same. Okay, you can just do your jumps a little bit smaller. If you label them, okay, that will tell your teacher how many you jumped. Your thousands jump doesn't need to be so big. Okay, it can be tiny, and if you write plus 1,000 in the number that you get to, that's fine. All right, so this number here I want to write down first. Okay, that's the number that I'm starting at. Now I'm going to break up this number here, just as I did in my split strategy. So firstly, I'm going to add on 1,000 plus 1,000. Now, 1,124, if I plus 1,000, it's going to be adding on 1,000 to this number here in the thousands column. So it would simply become 2,124. Okay, the rest of the digits stay the same. That just added one more 1,000 to that number there in the thousands column. Okay, so I have added 1,000. I like to cross them out so I know what steps I've done. Okay, now I'm going to add on 0. Oh, I'm going to add on 0. Do I have to do anything for that? No. Okay, the number still stays the same when you add it to 0. So you don't even need to do a jump for that one. Okay, so I've done that. Now, that one there represents 10. Okay, so I'm going to do a jump and write plus 10. Now, when I'm plussing 10 to this number, okay, that's going to be affecting the number in the tens column. Okay, so 2,124, if I was to add another 10 to that, it would change this number here, okay, to be 34. Okay, because 24 plus 10 is 34. Now I've added that 10 there. Now I'm going to do 3 single jumps, okay, to get this number here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, tell my teacher that I added 3 and work out what I landed on there. So this will really be affecting that number there as I'm changing the ones, okay, unless it goes over the 9 and then affects the 10s. So let's have a look. 2,134, 35, 36, 37. So 2,137 is the number that I land on. I'm going to write it up here. And I'm going to check with my split strategy. Yes, I did get that answer. So I'm pretty sure that that is going to be correct as well. Okay, so you can use the jump strategy and the split strategy together to work out some addition problems. Okay, it was really, really good and effective to use this in a maths test when you want to check your answers. Okay, when your teachers tell you, check your answers, you've got time, check them. If you prefer the split strategy, go for that one straight up and then use a second strategy like jump strategy to check your answers. Okay, there are other strategies that I will be introducing throughout the week, okay, but these are 2 of the main ones here that you can use. Okay, so try and use them today to work out your maths addition activities. Thanks, Year 4.